In this episode, we discuss financial malpractice, what it looks like, and how to make sure that you don't get burned. Hey everybody, I'm Mike Desepoli, and this is episode 16 of the Ask the Advisor show. Today we're talking about financial malpractice. More importantly, how you can identify it and how to avoid it to make sure it doesn't destroy your portfolio. We have the opportunity of meeting many different investors over the years, and we've heard a lot of their horror stories about some of the financial firms that they've bumped into along the way. So we thought we'd share a couple things with you today to make sure it doesn't happen to you. Financial malpractice can manifest itself in many different ways, and we could be here all day if we talked about it, but the most common form of financial malpractice that we see is poor recommendations that are not consistent with a client's goals and objectives. So how do you spot potential financial malpractice? If you're working with an investment professional and they only know your name and how much money you have, and they start to make recommendations about different strategies that you should utilize or different products that you should buy, you should run in the other direction. That is financial malpractice. As financial advisors, we have an obligation and a duty to understand and to know on a personal level every single client that we work with. We need to understand your income, your expenses, your family members and what that consists of. What are your goals and objectives with your money? How soon do you need this money? Do you need it back in a year, 3 years, 10 years? What do you plan on doing with this money when you get it back? How much risk do you want to take while you're investing this money? Are you comfortable with a little bit of risk, a lot of risk, no risk at all? What type of returns do you expect to get when you invest this money in the market? We could go on and on and on about the questions that us as investment professionals ask our clients to get a good detailed understanding of what they want to do with their money. Any person out there that's parading around as an advisor and is ready to make recommendations, or even worse, sell you products, after just knowing your name and how much money you have, that is a terrible, awful situation for any investor. So try to avoid that at all costs. So how can you avoid it? You have to ask good questions. And there's a ton of different questions that you can ask a financial professional that would all be considered great questions to ask. But I think the simplest and most direct way to find out about the advice that you're getting is to ask the advisor, how do they get paid? Do they get a salary from the company that they represent? Do they make commissions based upon products and services that they sell you? Or are they getting an annual percent of the assets under their management? Understanding how that individual gets paid will tell you a lot about the motives behind the recommendations that you're receiving. Not to pick on anybody, but I have a feeling that people that are recommending products because they receive commissions may not have your best interest in mind. So you really want to be aware of that. Any advisor that will not answer directly how they get compensated is not a professional that you want to work with. We all know how we get paid in this business, and we all can articulate that very clearly. So anybody that's kind of beating around the bush, they're not answering that question for a reason. Next week, episode 17, we hope you'll join us again. Don't forget to subscribe on the bottom right corner of your screen. We'd love for you to keep in touch with us in the show. And if you have a question that you'd like us to answer rather, please, that's the whole purpose. Anything in the investment community will do. You can tweet us using the hashtag AskTheAdvisor, or feel free to visit us on Instagram. Our handle over there is @AskTheAdvisor. We got a lot of really cool things that we're working on over there. Some entrepreneurial motivation, some wealth wisdom tips, some different millionaire mindset tactics, and we really love for you to keep in touch with us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back next week.